Welcome back. This is Windows Package Video Lesson 2. Now, before we dive into this video lesson, in the first video lesson, we wound up where I showed you how to apply screensaver, and I want you to practice doing that. I want to believe at this moment that you've tried applying different screensavers, and then you see how that one worked. Now, also in that video lesson, I alluded into the fact that one of the key reasons why people want to use computer, apart from the fact that they are automatic, one of the main reasons the fact that computers have the ability to store huge amount of data in a very small space. And so one of the definitions of computers, like I mentioned, is that you define a computer as an electronic device that operates under installed program, or that works under installed program, and is able to accept data, process data, store data, and output information. And the key word here is store. Computer has the ability to store huge amount of data, and so it goes without saying that computer has what we call storage locations. This video lesson, we're going to focus on what we call file management, or file and folders management. Basically what that means is how to organize your files in the computer and how to store your files within a computer. And as we look into that, we're going to learn about how to create different storage locations within the main storage locations that come with a computer. When you buy a new machine, it comes to what we call storage locations. I want to show you what these storage locations are, and then we're going to learn how to create our own storage location within the storage locations that normally comes with a computer. Okay, so first of all, we need to identify the different storage locations that come with a computer, and then after that, we're going to learn how to create our own storage location within those existing storage locations. So what are some of the storage locations, and how do you get to the computer storage locations? Now, the first one is what we call desktop, and it's actually what you are looking at right now. The first screen that you're seeing when you open a computer, this is what we call a desktop. And as you can see, we have different items here on the desktop. Some of these items are program, and others are folders, and sometimes you can also place files here. So when you look at this is a program, this is a program, this is a program. So these are programs that are stored within this computer. But we have the yellow ones. This is a folder, and basically what a folder is a storage location. Okay, meaning you can open any given folder and store information there. Think of a folder like a folder, or like a bag. Okay, a bag that you can put some stuff inside. So a folder is just like a bag. It's a place that you can store your files, and we're gonna learn how to create those folders, and then how to move them around. So this is a folder. This is another folder called personal power. This is another folder called my course practice. So all those, the yellow ones, they are folders, but all these others are programs. So what are some of the storage locations? Like I mentioned, desktop is one of the storage locations, but I want to show you how to access all the storage locations that come with a computer. So how do you do that? Well, you come down here to this folder here, and we call this folder File Explorer. It gives you access to all the files within this computer, and that means it gives you access to all the storage locations within this computer. So you double click File Explorer, you click it twice. Once you click it twice, it will open, and clicking twice means you click it 2 times very fast using your mouse. We call that one double clicking. So let's double click this one. You click using the left mouse button. Remember, your mouse has 2 buttons. The left mouse button and the right mouse button. So you click it using the left mouse button twice very fast. So let's double click. So once you double click it, it's supposed to open File Explorer and give you access to all the computer locations within this computer. So you can access those storage locations either through this File Explorer, or so it has opened already. So this is a File Explorer. Now you notice now we have this section here which has a border down here. So this section on the right part, it shows you the location that have already been opened, and then we have this section down here on our left side, and this shows you the computer storage location. So what are the key computer storage locations? We have the first one is what you call the desktop. Okay, so this is the desktop. If I double click this desktop, it will open. I click it twice, it will open. Once it opens, you can see what is on the inside right here. And what's in the desktop, you can see my course practice, my music, personal power, and all these other files that you saw on the desktop. Okay, so this is the desktop. It's a storage location, and you can store your files here, and you can also create your own folders here. Now another storage location is what we call my document. Ignore these ones. These are folders inside desktop, and you can collapse them by clicking this button. It will collapse them. There you go. So the second storage location is what we call documents. Now if you create any given file within your computer and you don't specify to the computer where to store those files are going to be stored by default on document storage location. By default, I mean if you don't specify otherwise, the computer would naturally store those files in documents. So if I double click document right here, it's going to open, and in this window you're going to see everything that is stored in the document. We have scroll bar here, and we call this one vertical scroll bar on your extreme right, and you can scroll up and down to see what is inside documents. You just double click this arrow down here and you'll be able to scroll upward. Okay, alternative, you can bring your mouse pointer on this handle here. You can click and hold down the left mouse button, and then you drag downward or upward, and then you'll be able to scroll up and down, and you can see what is inside documents. So all these files are inside documents. These are files, but remember the yellow ones, let me scroll upward. These yellow ones, these are what you are calling folders. Okay, now it's possible to know what kind of a file that is here. If you see a file with W, I'm not very sure whether you can see this one because it might, from your screen, might look very small, but you can identify files by checking. Just the icon can tell you what kind of a file that is. If a file has a symbol of a W, that means it's a Word document file. If a file has a symbol of A, like this one, that means is a Microsoft Access file. Let me scroll down to see whether we have other type of files here. Great. Those are the files that you seem to have here. So you can tell what kind of a file is by checking the symbols. If you see letter A, it means it's Access. If you see an X, it means it's an Excel file. If you see W, it means that is a Microsoft Word file. If you see P, it means a publisher file, and many others. Right, so basically this is now document. It's already open. Remember, we can collapse it so that we hide all these folders inside document. Just click this drop down arrow down here. So you click it and it collapses. So that was documents. There's another storage location that's called downloads. Normally, every time you download something from the internet, computer will automatically save it on downloads. So downloads is another storage location that saves all the downloaded files. And then you have music. When you save or when you store music in a computer, the computer will store it in music. This is where you store your audio and video files. If I click music, actually audio, not really video but audio, if I click music, it's going to open, and you notice we have only folders here. We don't have any music stored in this computer. So if you store audio files in this computer, the computer is going to store them in music storage location. Then you have pictures. This storage location is for folders. If I double click it, it's for photos. This is where you store all your photos. You can see there are a number of photos here, but they are not as much. So anytime you save your work on this computer, specifically anytime you store your photos, whether you took the photo via camera or you downloaded them, you can always store them inside pictures. So picture storage location, it allows you to store your photos. But remember, you can always store your photos where you want. You can also always store your music where you want. You don't have to necessarily store them in you don't have to necessarily store your music. Sorry for that. Allow me to close this one. So you don't have to necessarily store your music on music or your photos on pictures. You can decide where you want to store them. But a computer will come with this default storage location that will allow you to save your photos, your music, your downloads, documents. Then we have videos. And this is storage location that allows you to store your videos. If I double click it, it's going to open, and you can see a number of videos that are stored here. So you can store all your videos on video storage location. Okay, so these are the default storage locations that are computer that are found in a computer by default. We have desktop. Number 2, we have documents. Number 3, we have downloads. Number 4, we have music. Number 5, we have pictures. And number 6, we have videos. So those are the default storage locations. But then, when it comes to working the computer, which has the power to store huge amount of data in forms of files, you want to organize your files in a very specific way so that all your work within a computer seems organized, or it's organized. That gives you the ability to know where you've stored what, and you can access it at any given moment very fast without wondering where it is. And so in the process of organizing your files or your work, you're gonna need to create your own storage locations, which in this case we are calling folders. And you might want to name those folders based on the information that is found there. Okay, so for example, if you're saving office work, you can create a folder called office work, and you can decide to create that folder either on desktop or on document or whatever you want. And then you give it a name that tells you exactly what kind of files are there. By organizing your work in that way, or in that specific manner, then you're able to access any given file that you need at any given moment. So I want to show you how to create your own storage location in any given storage location. The storage location that you create, we call them folders. So I want to show you how to create folders. Now, we're going to start doing that by first of all learning how to create a folder on the desktop. So if you allow me, I'm gonna have to close this. Either I can close this and I can close this and go to desktop and create that folder direct on the desktop, or I can open the desktop from here and create the folder. So either way would work. Let's first of all close this one. And let me show you. Let's close this one. Let me show you. Close this one. Let me show you how to create your folder direct here on the desktop. Now, the way you create a folder here is by right clicking, and you right click not on a specific item here, but right here on the blank or the empty screen right here. But by right clicking, I mean you click using the right mouse button. Remember, your mouse has two buttons, left mouse button and right mouse button. So you click the right mouse button. So let's click. Once you click, you're going to see what you call pop-up menu. Okay, pop-up menu, and these are series of commands that will pop up from your desktop. And then from those commands, you can go to the command that says new. This command here says new, and then you move along that on a very straight line. Make sure you don't cross over to another command. If you cross over to another command, the commands will change. The ones that are popping up on your left side will change. So you make sure you are new. You move very straight along that. Then you come over here. Then you go to where we have folder, and then you just click folder. Once you click folder, a new folder will be created, and here's the folder, and now you can give that folder a name. All you need to do is go to the keyboard and type the name for that folder. So let's call it let's call this folder office document. Okay, so just type on the keyboard office document, and then you click away, and there you go. That is how you create a folder. Very simple. Let's try it again. You right click, you give your computer time, you get to see the pop-up menu. Here it is. Come down to new, move along, and then click this folder. Click the folder. Here you are. So you have a new folder. All you need to do is type a name. I'm gonna pull my online keyboard here and show you how you type. Probably it will be much more clearer. So allow me to pull up my keyboard. Just a minute. Let's see whether I can pull my keyboard from to have it on the screen. Let's give it a few minutes. Should be able to show the keyboard. There you go, and here is our keyboard now. So now with the keyboard here, I wanted to show you how to type. So the keyboard here, let's now create another folder. So I'm going to right click, okay, then I'm going to go to new, then I'll cross over and click folder, and a new folder is created. Once a new folder is created, all I need to do is type using the keyboard the name that I want to give it. So on my keyboard, I'm going to click caps, and when you click caps, you activate all the keyboard keys to be capital. So I'm gonna click caps, they are capital, and then I'm going to click M. Okay, notice now we are typing M, and then I'm going to click caps again to deactivate the uppercase into lowercase, and I'm gonna continue. So M, so you type Y, and then you put a character space by clicking the space bar, and then let's say my file, okay, or I can type my confidential file. Let's type the word confidential, my confidential TIAL, okay, my confidential, and then I can put character space and then type work, my confidential work, RK. There you go. So that is how you create folders. That's how you give them a name. And then I just click away. Clicking away, just clicking outside, not on the folder but outside here. There you go. So you have a new folder. So allow me now to pull down this keyboard. Great. So that is how you create folder directly on the desktop. But remember, you can also create a folder on the desktop but through File Explorer. So let's go to File Explorer. That will give us access to other storage locations. So double click File Explorer, give it time to open all the other computer storage locations. Then I'm going to show you how to create folders on the desktop but operating from File Explorer. So we are on the File Explorer, so let's go to desktop. Double click desktop right here, and now I'm on the desktop. Notice the folders that you created, they are here. So you can also create a folder from here. And how do you do it? Same procedure. Right click, and then you go to new on the pop-up menu that shows up on the screen. Then you come down to new, crossover, and then you go to folder, and then you can now, a folder should be created immediately. Here it is. Then you can give it a name. So let's call this one my lessons. I want to believe that we don't have a folder here called my lessons. Let's call it my lessons. Then you click away. And that is how you create folder. So that is one procedure. Now there are two procedures, especially if you are on Windows Explorer. If you're operating from this Windows Explorer, there are two procedures. That is one. The other procedure to create a folder here is to go to this folder direct here. You just click it, and a new folder will be created for you, and then you can now give it a name, and you can call it my coursework. There you go. And then you click away. So that is how you create a folder. Now, how do you create a folder on document? Same procedure. Allow me to click this button here to collapse desktop so that we can open another location. If I wanted to create folders on document, and that is where I want to store my work, all I need to do is come to this document, double click it to open, and here it is, and then you'll be able to see what is on the documents. So to create a folder here, the same procedure. I can go to folder up here, I click the folder, and then I just give it a name. Give it time to create a folder for you. Once that folder is created, you can give it a name. You can call this one let's call this one my training. Okay, and then you click away. There is a folder, and remember, you can now store any file inside this folder. Okay, you can also use the other procedure whereby you just right click. You make sure you don't right click on any of the files or items here. Specifically, you right click on the blank screen. So you just right click, you give it time to open new pop-up menu, come to new, go to folder, and then you can call it my, or you can just call it Michael, and then you click away. So that is how you create folders. And using the same procedure, you can create a folder anywhere. We seem to have another folder called Michael, and that's why you get this message. This destination already contains a folder named Michael. If the files have the same names, you'll be asked if you want to replace those files. Do you want to merge this folder? Now, you cannot have two folders in the same location with the same name, and that's why you're getting this information. What the computer is saying, Windows is telling you that you already have a folder in this location called Michael, and so you cannot have another folder by that name. And then it asks you whether you want to merge those folders. Of course, you say no, you don't want to merge those folders, and so the folder will just given a symbol name called new folder. Okay, so you can't have two folders with the same name in the same location. Let's do one more. Let's say we want to create a folder on pictures. Okay, so I'm going to click here to collapse this. Let's say we want to create a folder on pictures or even music. The same procedure. If I want folders on pictures or video, all I just need to do is double click video. Video will open, and here we are, and I can create a folder here. So same procedure. You right click, you get this pop-up menu, you come down to new, you cross over, and then you click folder, and then you have your new folder here, and you can call this folder Geoffrey, and then you click away. So you have your folder created. You can also use the second process that I've just shown you, which is you come to this folder here, you click new folder, and then you have the folder here. Then you can call this folder Mary, then you click away. There you go. So that is how you create folders. Now, if you're using Windows 8, because like I mentioned before, Some computers might use Windows 8. You basically decide which Windows you want to install in your computer. And currently, we are using here Windows 10. Now, Windows 8 might look slightly different. Instead of having this folder here, you might have a bar here, and along that bar, you might have a menu that's written new folder. So whether you see a folder here or there's a bar here with a name new folder, you just click the new folder. So depending on the program that you're using, if you're in a computer you cannot see this, you're probably not using Windows 10. Then look down here below here, you get to see something like share and then new folder, like a menu called new folder after share. You click that new folder, you'll be able to create a new folder. It's the same like clicking this folder right here. So that is how you create new folders, and then you can store something in these folders. For instance, if I double click this folder called Mary, it's going to open. Let's click it twice. The folder opens, and then you notice now there's nothing inside here, and so we can store whatever we want inside Mary. So that is how you create new folders. Now, I want to show you something else, and that is how do you rename a folder. Let's say you've created a folder and you don't like the folder and you want to change the name of the folder. How do you rename the folder? Let's say we want to change the name Geoffrey to a different name. So I'm going to have to rename. So how do you rename a folder? It's simple. All you need to do is click the folder to select using the left mouse button. Then once you select it, right click using the right mouse button, you click it. When you right click, you're going to see pop-up menu. You look for the command rename. You go to the command rename. Let's look for the command rename. It's down here. Then you click it using the left mouse button. So let's click rename. And now you're given the opportunity to type a new name. Okay, it will highlight the name here, and then you can now type a new name. So we can now call this folder Titus. And then you click away, and we've just renamed our folder. Now the folder has a different name. Let's close this one. Let's come here to the desktop. Let's try to rename our folder here. We have this folder called new folder. What if you want a different name? What you do, you click the folder to select. You click using the left mouse button to select, and then you right click. You get to see this pop-up menu. Come down to rename, click rename, and there you go. You can now give it a new name. So let's call this folder Alex, and then you click away, and there you go. So that is how you rename a folder. So that what I want you to do right now is I want you to pause this video lesson, and I want you to practice creating a folder. Practice creating a folder. Create a folder on music. Go to pictures, create a folder. Go to video, create a folder. Try creating a folder in all those different storage locations. Then after that, learn how to rename a folder. Rename those folders. Practice renaming the folders. Create the folder and then you rename them. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to do that, and then when you come back, I'm gonna show you how to delete a folder. Let's say you create a folder and you don't want it, or you are done, or there's nothing really important in that folder, and you want to delete them so that you don't have folders that you are not actually using on your computer. Remember, you might want to always delete unnecessary files and folders on your computer so that you don't they don't occupy space in your computer, yet they don't have anything important in them. And so when you come back, I'm going to show you how to delete folders. In the meantime, you have 2 minutes. Learn or practice creating folders and renaming folders. Perfect. I want to believe that you practice creating folders, renaming folders. What we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you how to delete a folder. Let's say I have this folder called My Confidential Work. And let's say I no longer need this work. So I'm going to have to delete this work. So how do I delete this folder? How do I get rid of it? It's simple. All I need to do is select the folder by clicking it. Then I will right click the folder and then I click delete, and the folder will be gone. It's that simple. That's how you delete folders. The same way you delete files. If I have created any file here, whether I've used Word or Excel, and I want to delete it, it's the same procedure. Let's try again. Let's say I want to delete this folder called Office Document. This folder no longer holds Office Document, or I don't need the document anymore. So I want to create more space within my computer. I want this folder to occupy space in my computer when the files that are there are no longer useful. So you select the folder by clicking using the left mouse button, and then you right click, and then you come down to delete. You click delete and it's gone. Okay, so how do you delete folders that you've created in other storage locations? You go to the storage locations, you do the same. So I'm going to have to use File Explorer. That will get me to those other storage locations. So double click File Explorer. It will open all the computer storage locations. And here we are. So now let's open Documents. I double click Documents. Document opens up, and then I'm gonna delete one of the folders that you created here. So I'm going to use this scroll bar. Remember I showed you how to scroll, or you can just come down here and click, scroll upward, or I can bring my mouse pointer right on this handle. I click and hold down the left mouse button, and then I can move it up and down. So now let's come to the folders here. We are looking for the folders that you created. We created Michael. We want to delete the folder Michael. So it's simple. All I need to do is select the folder, and then I right click, and then I click delete, and it's gone. Okay, so regardless of where the folders are, it's the same procedure. But there are two ways, or there are two procedures to deleting folders. I've just shown you one. By the way, I mentioned this, and I'll mention this again. The same technique used to delete folders are the same you used to delete files. For instance, let's scroll downwards. I'm using the scroll bar. You can see my mouse pointer. I'm holding down the left mouse button and I'm scrolling up. So all these are my files. What if I want to delete some of these files? How can I do them? It's very easy. Let's say I want to delete this file created in Word. I just select the file, I right click, and then I click delete, and the file will be gone. There it is, it's gone. So it's the same procedure. You delete the files using the same procedure. It's also the same procedure you use when you want to rename a file. Let's say I have this file called ANAPS Response Facebook Audited. Let's say I want to change this name. How do I change it? The same technique that you use to rename folders is the same technique that you use to rename files. All I need to do is select the file, I right click, I go to rename, I click rename, and then I type a new name, and I can call it Anabas. I can just call it Facebook post. There you go. Then I click away. So the same technique you use to delete or to rename files. You use the same technique to the same technique you use to rename folders and delete them. It's the same procedure that you use to rename files and delete files. All right, now that we know how to delete files, I want to point out something very important. Allow me to close this one. When I walked you through the different storage locations in our computer, there's one special location that we didn't tackle, and it's called Recycle Bin. Allow me to close this window, and here is what we call Recycle Bin. Now, Recycle Bin is like a dustbin, and this is where when you delete a file or a folder in a computer, they are not gone for good. They are not permanently deleted from the system. They are taken or thrown into the recycle bin. It's like where you throw unwanted materials in an office. In any given office, we always have some dust bins, and that is where you throw unwanted materials. And same case with a computer. So all the folders that you deleted, they were all taken to the recycle bin. If I want those folders back, I can always restore them. And so I want to show you how to restore a folder. What does the word restore mean? It basically means if I delete something, sometimes you can delete something by mistake without actually meaning to delete it. When that happens, you can always go back to the recycle bin and restore it back. So we deleted folders, but if you want to get them back, it's easy. All you need to do is you come to the recycle bin, you double click to open it, you click it twice, it's going to open, and here it is. And here you are going to see all the folders that you deleted. Notice we have ANAPS response Facebook and all these other folders that are here. We deleted confidential work, it's here. We deleted office documents, it's here. Office documents here, we deleted John. So all these are files that have already been deleted from this system. So how do you get them back? You use the restore command. So let's say the folder like office document, or a folder like my confidential work. We deleted this folder, and we deleted this folder from the desktop. I want to show you how to restore it back to the desktop. Remember, when you delete a folder and you go to the recycle bin to restore it back, your computer and Windows will always restore it back to where it were originally. So if originally the folder was on the desktop and you restore it back, it will be restored back to the desktop. So let's say my confidential work, we know this folder was on the desktop. We want to restore it back. How do you do that? You select the folder by clicking it, and then you right click, meaning you click using the right mouse button, you right click, and then you click restore. Once you click restore, that folder will be shifted from here and to be taken back to the desktop. We shall go back to the desktop and see whether the folder is there. Let's delete another folder, Michael. This folder called Michael was on documents. So we are going to delete it. Then you shall go back to document. Sorry, we are going to restore it, and you shall go back to document and see whether it has been restored. So you select the folder, and then you right click, and then you click restore. That is how you restore folders. So now when we go back to document, we are supposed to find Michael there. And when you go back to desktop, we are supposed to find my confidential work because we have restored them. Let's close the window here and go back. And here's desktop. Notice my confidential work folder is here. It has been restored. That is how you store folders. Let's go to documents and let's see whether the folders are Michael has been restored. I double click and let's open documents. Let's look for Michael, and here is Michael. The folder has been restored. So that is how you restore your folders. You can delete a folder and restore a folder. It's that easy. So I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. I want you to practice deleting a folder and restoring a folder. You have 2 minutes, go for it. After that, shall come back. I'm gonna show you 2 more things, but as for now, practice deleting folders and restoring folders. You have 2 minutes. Let's do it. Welcome back. I believe that you've done that, and now you're really good at deleting folders and restoring folders. Now let's move forward. I'm gonna show you how to copy a folder, meaning you can create a copy of a folder such that you have 2 folders in different locations. Then I'm gonna show you how to transfer a folder from one location to another location. All this that we are learning is what you call file organization and file management. Basically, how you organize your files. You can move a file or a folder from one place to another. You can change the name. You can delete. You can restore. You can create a folder. All that we call file management. I'm going to show you how to create copies of a folder. The same technique that you use to create copies of a folder, you use them to create copies of files. So we have this folder called Michael. Where is Michael? Michael is here on document. But if I want to have same folder, a copy of this folder on a location like my music. So how do you create a copy of a folder? It's very simple. First of all, you select the folder by clicking it, and then you right click, and then you look for the command copy, and this is it. So you click copy, and then from there you specify the destination where you want to create that copy. Now we are currently operating from documents, but I want a copy of this folder on my music, for instance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up. I'll click this drop down button here to collapse. By collapsing, I basically mean to shut down all these folders that you can see here which are on documents. So I'll click here to collapse. And then I go to pictures or music. I want to create a copy of Michael on music. So I double click to open music. And here we are. I just make sure there's no folder called Michael. Remember how we said you can't have two folders with the same name in the same location. So we do not have a folder called Michael here. So how do I now bring that copy here? It's simple. You right click using the right mouse button. You right click. And then you're going to see the pop-up menu. This menu will pop up, and then you click paste. Ever heard of the term copy paste? It basically means you can copy something and place it somewhere else. By clicking the command paste, basically telling the computer stick it or place it here. So I click paste. Here you are. You now have Michael. So now this is a copy of Michael. If I go back to document, we are going to still have the folder called Michael because we just created a copy of that. When you create a copy of a folder, it does not remove the original folder from its original location. So the original location for Michael was document. If I click document, still going to find Michael. And when I go to music, I have created a copy of Michael. Michael is still here. Okay. Sorry, allow me to close this one. So you can create a copy of a folder so that you have two folders but in different locations. Okay, two same folders but in different locations. Let's say, for instance, let's say I have this folder called lessons, and I want to remove it from here, and I want to create this folder on a place like desktop. How do I do it? Same procedure. First of all, you select the folder by clicking using the left mouse button, and then you right click on the folder, and then you click copy, and then you close the folder. Sorry, you close this one. I can close this one, or I can use this arrow here to go back. Let's close. And now we are on the desktop. I make sure there's no folder called my lessons. So now I want to bring that copy here. How do you do it? You right click, and then you click paste, and here we are. Now you have the folder called my lessons. So that is how you create a copy. When I go back to my music, I expect to still find this folder. Let's see that that is true. Double click File Explorer to open. Let's go to music, double click. Here we are. So we have my lessons here, and we also have the folder my lessons here. Now let's do one more. Let's copy this folder called desktop. Let's place it on video location. Okay, so you select the folder, you right click, and then you click copy. Let's go to File Explorer. We double click File Explorer, click here to expand the window. So let's go to videos, double click videos, and now we can stick that folder here. We right click, and then you click paste. Here we are. So you have now the folder called my confidential work. So that is how you create a copy of a folder in different locations if you want to. Now I want to show you one more thing, and that is How do you transfer a folder from one place to another? Let's say, for instance, allow me to close this. Let's say, for instance, I have very confidential information inside this folder called Alex. And since it's on the desktop, that means if I'm using a computer that is shareable, meaning I'm using a computer that's normally used by other people, it means they can easily find my work when they open desktop and access that work. So I might want to really shift or transfer this folder from here to another location that is not easily visible, like documents or music, where people cannot easily see them once they open the computer. So how do you transfer the folder? We call it transferring a folder or moving a folder. When you transfer or move a folder, it's completely moved from the original location to a new location. Unlike copying, whereby it's just a copy that's created in another location, but the original copy remains on the original location. For transferring, you're completely moving that folder from that location to another location. So let's say I want to transfer the folder called Alex, and I want to get Alex to be stored on a place like pictures. So how do you do that? It's very simple. You select the folder and then you right click and then come down to cut. This time around, not copy but cut. So I click cut, and then let's go now to the destination location where we want to transfer that folder to. So I'm going to double click this file explorer. I double click it, opens these computer storage locations. I want that folder to be transferred to pictures, so I double click pictures, and here we are. And now I right click using the right mouse button and I click paste. Once I click paste, here is Alex. Now what happens is, if you go back to where we had this folder originally, that is on the desktop, you will not find this folder called Alex. Let's see that that is true. So I close this one, and now you notice Alex is not here. The folder has been shifted from desktop and it has been taken to pictures. That is how you shift a folder from one location and you place that folder in another location. Let's open File Explorer. I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to open videos. Double click videos. I want to transfer a folder that is here and take it to another location. I want to pick a folder called computer lessons, and I want to shift this folder. I want to transfer this folder to documents. So how do you do it? You right click, you click the folder using the left mouse button to select it, and then you right click, and then you come down to cut. You click cut, and then now we go to where we want to store that folder. We want it on desktop, so we go to desktop, we double click desktop to open, and we want to keep that folder here. So I right click and then you click paste, and there you are. So now the folder is here, computer lessons. If you go back to where this computer was originally, you will not find it, and you can go back by using this back arrow. So click back arrow, and here we are. The computer was on videos, but now it has been moved to documents. So that is how you transfer a folder or how you move a folder. And all that we've done today, we call it file management or file and folders management. Now, before we wrap up this lesson, I want you to realize that you can do the same with the files. Whatever we are doing with folders, you can do the same with files. Let's go to document and transfer one of the files that is there. So let's close. I can actually scroll. Let me scroll up here, and then let me collapse documents. Let me open documents and double click. Let's scroll down to see some of the files here. We have some files here. Don't worry about files. We're going to learn how to create files in the upcoming video lessons when we dive into Word, Excel, Access, and all that. So now let's pick one of the folders here. We have this one of the files. We have this file called Ajira. What if we want to transfer Ajira file, which is created by Word, from document, and we want to save it on the desktop? How do you do that? Same procedure. I select Ajira, I right click, and then I click cut. That means I want to transfer it or to move it, and then I can close this one. I come to desktop, there are no files here. I right click and then I click paste, and now you have the file called Ajira here. Okay, so the same procedure that you use with the files, with the folders, it's the same procedure that you use with files. You can create a copy of a file, you can move a file from one place to another. Let's make a copy of this file as we wind up this lesson. So what if I want to have a Jira file in two locations? So I want a copy of this but in another location. So you select the file, then you right click and then you click copy, and then let's go to the location where we want to save it. So double click File Explorer to open file locations, and let's say I want to save it on pictures. I double click pictures open, and then I right click, then I click paste, and here it is. It's now saved on pictures. So if I close this, or if I minimize it, you notice the copy still exists here. So I've just created another copy. Okay, and that is how you manage your files and folders. You can move your files wherever you want. You can change the name of your files and folders. You can delete them if you want. You can make copies of files if you want. You can restore them if you delete them. All that work. That is what you call file management, file and folders management. And I've shown you how to do it. Now you have the skills to be able to manage your files within a computer. And I want you to practice everything that we've done in this video lesson. And in the next video lesson, I'm going to show you something that's very, very important. And that is, what if your computer is shareable? What if you're using your computer with other several people and you want to have your work private and confidential, whereby if someone's opened that computer, they cannot access your work? What do? I'm going to show you in the next upcoming video. But as for now, what I want you to do is practice and get good and file management, and I'll see you in the next video as we dive into something very fascinating and something that's very, very important, especially if you're using your computer, sharing it with other people. I'm going to show you how to make sure that your work is confidential, and other people, even though there is the same computer, they cannot access your work. Until then, get good at file management, and I will see you in the next video lesson.